All right, everyone. Welcome to American Graveyard Podcast Live for March 2026. I'm your host, Marissa Prada, joined by my esteemed colleagues, Matthew Rick Spisek and Angie Williams. Today is March 7th, 2026. Our topic is Let's Talk Religion and Political Violence. It's just nonstop, right? We always talk about how the show has no. Um, is not hurting for material to discuss, which is a continual tragedy every 30 days. But before we get into the litany of things that have happened, not just in New Mexico, but in the US and globally, let's go over the rules and the missions for this podcast today. American Graveyard Podcast Live is an international collection of artists who come together in a unified global call for an end to gun violence. Each month, we will cover a different topic centered around gun violence. The podcast is composed of facts, opinions, personal stories, local and global news and events, historical information, and other such matters. We will list where information was obtained and do our best to ensure that citations are from reputable and true sources. This is a free speech, not a hate speech zone. The disclaimer today: this podcast will discuss topics that may be graphic in nature and are unacceptable to some audiences, especially children. The discussions may include firsthand accounts, videos, audios, photographs, articles centered around gun violence. The opinions and viewpoints expressed during the show are not necessarily the opinions and viewpoints of every host, guest host, special guest, read or green books, or the word is right. Viewer, listener discretion is advised. Welcome, Blitz. Blitz, the poet, is joining us. I know he's only going to be here for the first part of the show. Glad to have you, Blitz. I know Blitz has brought a couple topics to me the last 30 days, which, again, is really mind blowing. Just real quick to go through the list of everything that has happened since the last podcast. There was the school mass shooting in BC, Canada, which is British Columbia, Canada's worst school shooting in history. There was a deadly mass shooting at a high school hockey match in Rhode Island. The dad. This is one of the first things we're going to open with today. Colin Gray is the father of the teen charged in the 2024 Georgia school shooting at Appalachia High School. The father was brought up on charges. Was brought up on 29 counts, including 2 counts second degree murder, 2 counts involuntary manslaughter, 20 counts cruelty to children, and 5 counts of reckless conduct. He was found guilty. And so I believe this is the third parent or sets of parents who have been found guilty after their child um, acted in a mass shooting. And so we're beginning to hopefully see accountability there. We're going to talk today. I'm going to show a clip in the East Mountains, a absolutely devastating incident of domestic violence happened recently where a mother and her children were shot and killed by her partner. I'm not sure if it was her husband or it was her partner, but nonetheless, again, women and children are continuing to die in New Mexico due to domestic violence at the hands of a gun, which is being executed by a partner in interrelationship violence. We also had the deadly mass shooting. I know Angie had sent me this, the deadly mass shooting at Stocko Bottom. I'm going to let Angie kind of maybe discuss that because I didn't look into that too much, but I know there was an 11-year-old boy who also had potentially, he's accused of murdering his dad because he took away his Nintendo. So, these are things that we continue to see as a trend. Another local story, the Uber driver who was shot and killed by his ride share passenger. This was a teenager who killed his ride share driver, his Uber driver. And so the mother is speaking out and seeking justice there. And then, of course, we have Tacoma. This was an insane. I don't know if you guys saw this. If you did not see it, I'll find the YouTube video and I'll show it during this show today. In Tacoma, men, I believe it was like 3 or 4 men, stood outside this this person's home in Tacoma, Washington, with automatic guns, air style weapons, and just unloaded 50 bullets into the front of this dude's home. And the video of the front doorbell or front surveillance cameras is intense. So that should shake everyone to their core, that anyone could walk up to your home and just spray your house with bullets. I have been on the receiving end of that, and let me tell you, that is a terrifying thing. Blitz sent me the Austin mass shooting that has recently happened. We're going to finish the show today discussing the shooting in Austin, because there are links to terrorism from an ideology that is based in Iran. We will be discussing the war that has now happened in Iran. Venezuela also has happened since the last time that we met. And then again, locally, remember, these again are only the last 30 days, okay? And I really like to bring things to this podcast that are affecting New Mexicans. At Mitchell Elementary School, there was and this is an elementary school here in Albuquerque, there was a student found with a gun, a loaded gun, again, at an elementary school here in Albuquerque. So there's an interesting article about that KOAT 7, which is an ABC affiliate, put out. And then Angie brought up today the teen that was charged in the parents' murder. The teen also plotted to kill President Trump. So says the FBI. And so there's, we see this incredible political violence, and we have to wonder, what's the trickle down effect when we see the leader of, the United States going in and essentially attacking and removing leaders from countries, and bombing other countries, and the loss of life, the quote unquote collateral damage. There's an image I'm going to show today about the targets in Iran that the United States deployed, that caused the mass murder of a lot of children there at a school. And so how different are we as Americans than a school shooter if our elected leader is going to go and kill a bunch of kids at school? So where does that leave us, right? Where does that leave us? And then we'll be discussing today the assassination of, let me pull this up here, Melissa Hortman, who's a representative, and Senator John Hoffman, who was shot. The political violence is incredible. We've seen everything from January 6th up until now. It's not stopping. It's everyone. It's all sides of the aisle. No one is safe. What do we do? Where does that leave us? So I'm going to go ahead and start with welcoming my co-hosts, and let them kind of chime in a little bit today about their thoughts as we enter the podcast today. And then we're going to start with the Georgia father who was found guilty. Rick, I invite you to welcome yourself, and then Angie, and then Matthew. And then
thank you so much, Marissa. Again, I salute you as always for bringing a difficult, complex topic to air in a thoughtful discussion, without hate speech, without yelling, without argumentation, to discuss important issues that are so critical to our civilization today. Because you can have technology, you can have mass communities, without having much civilization. That much we know. The topic of violence, religious related violence, we see around us, as you pointed out, in so many terrible ways all around us. From preachers who are addressing soldiers involved in battle in military educational facilities, talking about Armageddon and literally relishing and encouraging our soldiers to think of the battles in the Middle East as precursors to the end times. And needless to say, we have organizations, thank God, that fight for freedom of religion, which is different than you can say anything you want to anybody. Very
Mm-hmm.
different.
Mm-hmm.
And from that to the terrible violence that we see across the Middle East from too many quarters. Thank you for this topic, and I hope to bring a little bit of information on these that maybe some of it anyway can give us some hope. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rick. Angie, would you like to chime in as we jumpstart the show today?
Sure. Um, Hi, everyone. Marissa, I would like to ditto what Rick said about you championing this much needed topic. I'm just along for the ride because I think it's a cool ride. Uh, I agree also with Rick. It has gotten to a point where freedom of speech has kind of gone to the left a little bit. It's okay to say what you think, but you also have to think about what you say. And because you have so many people out there that look normal, but they're not normal. And when you say certain things or tell them certain things, it clicks a totally different way. As far as the religious aspect, yes, in the Bible it does say there'll be wars, rumors of wars, and all this other little stuff. But you have to also put it into context. And a person that has not been in church all their lives will not put it in context, and it causes mass destruction. And when we have a president that has no boundaries, it kind of keeps everybody else in the country from having boundaries. And that's it.
No, you're totally right, right? It's the trickle down effect. It starts at the top. And I think that one of our upcoming topics is violence starts at the top. Because if they're seeing that this is an acceptable thing, and you can be upset about an election and try to overthrow the government, and it's okay if people die because you're going to get, a get out of jail free card if the president gets elected again, right? I mean, it's just bananas to think that the young people who are watching some of this, even on the news, right? How that could inspire them. And we've done that. The contagion of inspiration was a topic we've done on the show, how inspires violence. And so it's no surprise that, these young kids are, assassinating their parents for taking their Nintendos, or plotting to, kill people because they think that it's something it's a choice. It's something you get to do. And it's not. Violence should not be an acceptable choice in America today. Gun violence should not be an acceptable choice in America today. It is the number one killer of young people. We know this, and the number one cause of death for children. And yet we're not doing anything, right? We're not doing anything because we're doing this podcast, right? This is what we can do. Matthew, would you like to introduce yourself? And then Blitz, if you're out and about, you're welcome to chime in and introduce yourself too.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Matthew, and I'm a teacher in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you, Marissa, for hosting this and for having me. Um, uh, yeah, just kind of on all these matters. I was raised by uh, leftist activist Quakers and consider myself deeply religious. And what's going on is painful. I see the government, taking my tax dollars and building systems that mix religion and violence and cause widespread death. And I'm paying for that, and I see it contributing to kind of the trickling down and contributing to regular folks who feel who kind of feel violence as an answer or use violence to accomplish some sort of thing. And I can say that I disagree with my government. I could say that, I disagree with violence, but, you know, ultimately I support it with my tax dollars. And it grieves me. And I feel that we're not doing enough to, present, counteract that and present another side. So, glad to be here and listen on this and maybe gain some encouragement and inspiration and knowledge.
And I love that because we have published teachers in APS. We work deeply with our community. I have 2 kids who are in public school. I'm a product of public school, well, up until high school. And so it's important, I think, more than ever now to champion our teachers because so much more is being asked of them. And the job has become incredibly surreal and dangerous, I think. And so I see so many good teachers leaving who our kids really like because the kids are out of control. There's not enough protections. There's not enough being done to support teachers. So I definitely think we ought to do a show that is for educators. And I think a little bit of the show we're going to do next month. Next month's topic is the atomic weight of trauma. And it's a riff off the book, The Atomic Weight of Love. If anyone has ever read that book. And it talks about the short-term, long-term effects of the trauma of gun violence, especially for kids in schools. Because the children in school have to go back to school. They have to learn and study, and then they have to go into the workforce. And how gun violence is continuing to perpetuate in society, how that is continually a trigger. How do we get out of that fight or flight response when we're constantly being re-traumatized? So, and not just students, right? Teachers, administrators, staff, people who have gun violence experiences in the workforce. I mean, it's traumatic. All of those parents who had kids at all of those schools, even when they've got to pick up their living child, the trauma that those parents will have forever. So the atomic weight of trauma will be a topic for next month, and we should definitely be talking, I think, about the weight of being an educator. I think that's a good topic. So if you ever want to come back, Matthew, you're always welcome. And maybe that would be a good topic for you and any other teachers who want to come through. All right, Blitz, are you here? Are you around, sir? I know you've got Blitz does volunteer stuff on the weekends, and so he's in and out a lot of times. And if not, that's okay. Cool. He's here, but he's probably busy in the background. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share screen and audio and go into this YouTube clip. This is the title of this YouTube clip is Georgia Father Found Guilty of Murder in School Shooting Trial Faces Up to 100 Years. This is by ABC News. This is David Muir. And this was just published 3 days ago. You can find that on YouTube. So let me share screen. We'll listen to this quick story and then we'll discuss a little bit about this. Here we go.
After getting his son an AR-15 style rifle despite warnings from authorities. Here's Steve Osensami.
It took a jury deep in the heart of gun country less than 2 hours to hold this Georgia father responsible after police say that his son murdered 2 students and 2 teachers at this suburban Atlanta high school in 2024. The teenager is seen here in surveillance videos before the shooting, getting on a school bus, and here at Appalachia High School hiding an AR-15 style rifle that his father had given him for Christmas under a poster board. Tonight, 55-year-old Colin Gray is facing more than 100 years in prison, convicted of second-degree murder and more than 24 other charges. Jurors agreed that he ignored signs that his son could kill, giving him the gun even after authorities are seen here warning him that his teenager was accused of making threats against another school. And the father had seen this on his son's bedroom wall, what prosecutors say was a shrine to the Parkland, Florida school shooter.
This was multiple warnings over a lengthy period of time.
Tonight, prosecutors are saying that this conviction should be a strong warning for parents everywhere. The son is now awaiting trial. David?
All right, Steve, thank you.
Okay. So, you know, we've seen only recently parents being held accountable. I think that this is a fabulous win for justice. It won't bring back the dead. It may not change policy. And I always ask on this podcast, how many have to die? How many more people are going to be buried by the time we come back in April? How many more school shootings or people are going to die from gun violence before something really major happens? You know, this was deep in gun country, like David said. This was an amazing, or the reporter had said, deep in gun country. This is a win. If the jury was out only 2 hours to convict the dad, a couple things really stick out to me. A previous podcast that we've done on this show, the topic was the denial factor. It will never happen to me. We've discussed that at length. How deep people's denials are. Their belief systems cannot be shaken because they believe so fervently that it can't ever happen to me. And the father had deep, deep denials. Will this wake up other parents who have given their children guns or own guns that are not secured? And the other thing is this teenager had a shrine to the Parkland shooter. We have discussed at length as a topic on this show, the contagion of inspiration. It's the second time now I'm bringing it up today. The inspiring nature of violence, and just the complete and total absence of parental oversight on that. And this father will, I hope, never get out of jail. I hope he stays in prison for the rest of his life. What will he do with his time? Will he use that as an outreach for other parents who have guns that they give their kids? I mean, what good is going to come out of that? And what changes can we possibly see or expect in this political climate that we find ourselves in today? So I open the floor to anyone who would like to chime in about the dad. Rick, you're ready, but the rest of you can also just chime in. You don't have to wait for me to call on you.
Yeah, the first thing I was going to say is, you know, there's a difference between parenting and actually just bearing children. There's a real difference. And too many people, men and women alike, probably more men than women, but men and women alike, regard their job as being done as long as they're fed. And you know, to pay attention, to be part of a nurturing society that helps raise a child, that brings a child from the wild west of infancy to citizenship. It's not up to just the teachers. It's not just up to society. It's certainly not up to the churches, because people have wandered through all of these things without being nurtured in becoming responsible citizens. And, you know, this guy just happens to be one appalling example of the worst kind of parenting. But, you know people, and I know people who regard guns as fun toys to have around, and that their magical thinking is such that, well, no one will ever misbehave with them. I've mentioned before, my father, who had behaved responsibly about his gun for 50 years, 60 years, took his own life with it. And it when you see the kind of irresponsible hate at the very top of our government, and how this trickles down, this enables, this gives license. It can't surprise anyone that pays attention to a kind of a brutality that's being cultivated by these people. We had a president who said, "Hey, rough them up. People are being too nice. It's going to get rougher." Really? Really? What parent who cares about their child is going to say, "Hey, emulate that guy"? Now that's an example that you should be like. Beyond appalling. Now, thank goodness, I believe that there are responsible people like yourself and so many others who really care not just about themselves, not just about their families, but care about their society, who try to put their shoulders to the wheel and make this a better place. Marissa, I'm glad to be a small help as you put your shoulder to the wheel, spend your time to try to help people understand how to be better human beings. Thanks.
And I do. I love you so much. You guys, everyone is just so amazing who comes to support the show. To give your time every month to do this is incredible. I mean, I could do it by myself, but it would not be as fun or as enjoyable or as intellectual because sometimes I'm all over the place. So everyone brings a great deal of substance to the show. For those who might be listening who are like, well, teenagers are going to do what teenagers do. All right, so I will concede. I have a 16-year-old for the first time in my life. Okay. And I totally get it that my teenager, my 16-year-old, she is very rebellious. She's very strong-willed. She doesn't want to be held accountable. She wants to do her own thing and she wants to find her own way. And those are valid things, but she's still just a child. She's still a teenager. And so all I can do is alleviate the things she can have access to, things that could be dangerous, hurt her or someone else. So, for example, driving. Driving is difficult because you're in a motor vehicle and there's a lot of dangers with the motor vehicle. Guns. I don't keep guns in the house. I don't give her a gun. I would never ever do that, right? So when you have a strong-willed teenager who wants to their own way, who doesn't want to listen, who's finding their path in this world, who doesn't like accountability and rules, don't go giving them a gun. I mean, it's right. To me, it is a very not that hard. Angie, would you like to chime in?
Obviously, the dad was not raised by my parents, and neither was the son. Because in my house, I couldn't even bring up. My mama marked everything that came in that house. If it was a pencil, literally, she knew every pencil she bought. Nothing happened in that house unless my mama knew. I cannot fathom how can this man not have reservation about his child with sadistic stuff up on the wall. One. Two, my mama swears she didn't search my room, but there is no way some of the stuff she found floated on the kitchen table facing me when I walked in the door. There is no way. And I'm glad she did that. Yes, I was a calculating child. I wasn't just rebellious. I was calculating. I'm a calculating adult, but I've learned what to calculate about. They would have never, there were guns in my house, but we understood. We were made to understand. Dead is dead. I don't care what you see on TV. You're not coming back. Dead is dead. As a calculating adult, I don't do weapons because I have a hair trigger temper. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, I would shoot first, ask questions later, and tell the judge they shouldn't have been bothering me. So if I can be accountable for myself, other adults need to be accountable for themselves first. Then they can make their child accountable. Yes, kids go hunting with their parents, but you don't give a kid a gun and not explain what happens. You don't let a kid just think, oh, if I shoot the deer, he's dead. People won't die. That's not how that worked. I'm glad that they made an example out of this man, but they also got to make an example out of that kid. Because if the kid does it, if he gets away with it, he's going to think, oh, I can do something else and somebody else will be blamed. I won't ever be blamed. It's, and then when you have a leader that's upset because a senator told the troops, you don't have to do anything illegal, even if the president tells you to. And he goes back and say, well, that's treason. He should be lynched. What does that tell a child? That's all I have to say. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now.
No, it's good. And it's true, right? I mean, the laws vary from state to state. Perhaps there needs to be some sort of mandated federal regulation for school shooters or mass shooters, that will not allow a child to be sentenced as a child, but sentenced as an adult. But then, on the flip side of that argument, is the fact that children's frontal lobes are not fully developed. We know that their impulse control and their frontal lobes are not developed. They don't fully understand the gravity of their choices. However, there's a lot of things peripherally that go into that, which is why children are typically not sentenced as adults. Is this more like finding out the root cause, right? Is the shooting a symptom of something, right? And what is the symptom of? What is the illness? What is the underlying thing that is causing this behavior? So finding out, is that something that's treatable or not? Is it so? There's a lot of things that are within that whole, I don't want to say argument, but the whole, topic of should children be treated as adults, should be sentenced as adults, should, jail versus rehabilitation. Like there's a whole lot of things that can be said about that. And Matthew might know because he's a teacher. I don't know how long Matthew's been a teacher, but I do know that sometimes with children, it's a gray area, and not every child is the same. Not every intention is the same. And so how do you treat that when it's really a case by case basis? So I don't know. Those are all great things to talk about. If we had, people on the podcast who are experts in that, for example, who could come and talk about the pros and cons of that type of legislation or that type of intervention, or consequences for mass shootings. Blitz, I see your hand is raised.
Yes, since I don't have a lot of time, I'll make this real quick and cover a few topic points because I know I'm almost to my destination. I do believe, yes, the parents and the child should be held accountable in these mass shootings because it is the parents' responsibility to not just protect themselves, but others, meaning take care of your children, but at the same time, make sure your children do no harm to others involving weapons, mass shootings, because that is also that's also a job of a parent, is to not just protect your house and home, but to protect others who your children interact with. And I know I'm jumping a topic here because, like I said, I'm short on time. I know I sent you something about a weapon yesterday, and think that small weapon scares me in general because if they're making weapons that small and conceivable as a gun, a kid can easily put that anywhere, and they may not have a full round of shooting, but that's just enough to kill at least one person. I'm sorry I jumped topics, but I know I'm short on time. And the Austin shooting I didn't get all the details on. I know I sent you the article, but I didn't get to check up on all of it. But these are just a lot of things that are on my mind right now because some of this stuff can be prevented, and parents should be aware of everything their child does. My parents knew what I was doing, and if a kid has a shrine to a mass shooter, that is a red flag. So that's my rant. I'm gonna stop right there.
I appreciate you, Blitz. And so what Blitz is referring to is this video, video clip he sent me. It's essentially like an origami, like folded gun, and it looks very harmless. It looks just like a box, and it unfolds like a transformer into a gun. It was, yeah, I mean, it was scary to watch that because you would not know it. What if you're a child in someone's home and you find that and you have no idea what it is? Oh, it starts to move. And especially if you're, a kid who's really interested in functionality and how things move and work, your Legos builder or whatever, you might, oh, this moves. Oh, this moves. What does this do? Kids are naturally curious, and that would be a very dangerous thing. So, we could definitely talk about that as a future topic blitz. We did talk a little bit about the mechanics of guns, and so we can add that if that's a good thing. But I think it is a very not very, but I do think it's unreasonable to tell parents they need to know everything that their child's doing, because if you've ever raised a child, as they get older, they don't always tell you the things. And there's a lot of ways to hide things these days, especially with technology. You could go and, like how Angie's mom did, go through the whole room and they could still have things offsite or whatever. Their burner phones, there's all kinds of things that technology is available to human beings these days that kids can hide things at. But when you have blatant information, like a shrine on the wall of your son's room to the Parkland shooter, when you have blatant information like law enforcement showing up to your home telling you your son is being investigated or they're possibly dangerous, right? When you have these warnings, you know better. And so that's why he will probably die in prison. Matthew, did you want to chime in on this before we move on today?
Yeah, sure. What I'm hearing a lot of is, kind of a failure of some of the potential stewards for our actions and our children and our fellow citizens. There's lots of good parents out there, but there's lots of parents who, like, for whatever reason, make choices that kind of allow this to happen. And that we have a leader of our country, and not just our country, but leaders of other countries. Some of them that, like, are kind of acting in that same way. They're, for whatever reason, the choices they're making foster this violence or open up the space for it, or green light it in some ways. And I'm not a parent, I'm not a leader of a country, but I'm a teacher. So I have classrooms full of people. And, I would say that it's not even just young people, because some of my classrooms are very diverse, even in age, just Americans and guns and violence, and, how all of that gets justified or, worked out in someone's brain. But what you say, Marissa, with children, that they're not developed, they don't have the frontal lobe or all of these scientific things that I don't necessarily know much of, but what they used to have, which Angie was talking about, and I think a lot of us have experienced that, is responsible stewards, active, aware, maybe even more assertive than we wanted them to be, stewards that helped us navigate all of that. And I know that there are still good stewards out there, but wow, I mean, even, if we just look at the leaders of our country, like, there are a lot of really terrible stewards out there. And that, too often they're the steward for someone getting through, not doing something terrible, and they're just dropping the ball or kind of encouraging it to happen.
It's so true, right? I mean, we went into Venezuela. We went into Venezuela and took Maduro, which
Yeah.
I'm not saying is a bad move, but I'm saying, like, maybe the way it happened was there's a process in this country, right? When you want to do something like engage in acts of war, declare war, those things, you need congressional approval. You have to follow the system. It is set up for a reason, for people to come together and all agree or don't agree to do something. You don't just go into, somewhere else in the world because, they have valuable things in the earth to give you power. You can't just do that. Now, I will say though, the Maduro regime was incredibly suppressive to the Venezuelan people. There was a great deal of horrific things that were happening in Venezuela. So there are a lot of great things that came out of that. Perhaps we'll see, because Maduro's first in line to the throne is still there, and I don't know if she's going to do anything to fix it. So we really don't know, right? The United States, we don't have the time or the money or the manpower to be handling everyone's everyone else's government. We can't even handle our own.
Let me make a comment about that idea. Now, I have heard justifications for this war. You know as well as I do, they've run through about 8 different justifications, many of which are contradictory. But I think if you boil it all out, once you start saying that country A can decide that country B's leader is not doing the right thing, does that not have blowback? I'm sorry. Is there some country out there that says, well, you know, I've seen Trump round up people, mistreating people. I think he doesn't have a very good grasp of what government's supposed to be. We think he should be taken out. And just like when we thought drones were such a great, convenient, cheap way of having wars, did people not realize that that same cheap technology, for example, a $20,000 clone just took out a $2 billion anti-missile equipment in the Middle East? You know, these things have blowback. And when you start saying that, well, we didn't like that government, so we're just going to take it over. And now we're going to be in charge of Venezuela. Trump says he's going to be picking the next Ayatollah. Are you effing kidding me?
Well, and we have to look, if you look historically, right?
Oh,
the Persian
well,
Empire,
historically.
the Roman Empire, the constant, right? You look at like the empires historically throughout
Middle
history,
East, South America, Central America. Yeah, we've done it before. I thought, and maybe you agreed, that we got over that stuff, that we didn't really think we were king of the world
supposed
anymore.
to be civilization, right? Civilization, civilians. We're supposed to be civil. That being said, it's definitely apparent, and it should be apparent to everyone, that the disputes in the Middle East have been there for thousands of years. They're not going anywhere, and they're not going to get fixed. They're not going to ever come together and be a peaceful part of the world.
Maybe that's really why they call it the Holy Land.
Is
There's
it
been
our
holes down in it.
Well, it didn't help that he declared Jerusalem. Anyways, so, you know, I mean, there's a whole lot of things that have happened. And it's, first of all, when you have people who are homeless, don't have access to medicine, don't have access to doctors, even fresh water in many parts of the United States, who are unemployed, who, you know, when you have a great deal of people in your country who are hungry and unhoused and not getting medical care, you're building a $500 million ballroom. I don't know, is this a billion yet? You know, it's to me, why are we messing around over there? We need to fix our stuff. We need to help those who are here to
it's
get
a very
them
important
rooted
distraction
and fix everything. So when it's not just a distraction, but I think these are like small pieces of a larger puzzle we don't have the picture for yet, that could have very devastating consequences for us in our future globally and nationally for the next 100 years. And so these, you know, without being a conspiracy theorist or a fearmonger and all that stuff, I think the things that are really happening globally in the world, which we have our grubby hands in, is going to affect us and our country for a really long time. These are things you cannot go and undo. And unfortunately, Iran has a lot of very powerful allies. We can't go neutralize them. We don't have the time, the manpower, the money, the munitions. So, like, what are we doing, America? We you know, let's stop killing kids in schools first. Can we do that? Like, can we make that a goal? Can we, like, perhaps stop the gun violence here before we go perpetrate it abroad? Angie, I know your hand is up. Angie.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was having technical difficulties. I couldn't get my mute off.
You
I agree with
unmute.
I agree with both of you. In fact, all three of you. Um, First off, when you talk about the trickle down effect, first off, let's talk about the drones. The drones are a kid's toy. Okay. Now, how many kids you think got drones for Christmas? My grandson had a drone a couple of years ago. He thought it wasn't fun because it didn't do anything. So he stopped playing with it. Okay. When kids see that drones are being used to hurt people, what do you think? There's always this one kid out there that is super smart and can figure out a way to rig a drone. That's one problem. Two, kids are looking at our president acting like a bully. No, I'm sorry, let me correct that. Being a bully.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna think, oh, it's okay. I can run around and do whatever I want to other people, especially when he's bragging about how many people they've shot out the sky because they were alleged drug dealers. How many people they've shot in boats. You didn't board the boat. You didn't do anything. And you just let these people hit the water and wash up on islands in the Caribbean where kids are finding them. We as adults are doing too many bad things without thinking of what the next generation is looking like. As it stands right about now, well, we're not looking good because our next generation guys are either going to be in jail or dead. And that's the end of the generation. They said when Jesus comes back, he ain't gonna have nothing to do because we all gonna be to killed each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing, nobody's gonna be, nobody's taking responsibility. And it's gonna get worse. I read yesterday, in the month of February, we lost 92,000 jobs. Not to mention all those Elon got rid of. So what do you think people are going to be doing next? Killing and robbing. We're in a bad spot and we don't have the leadership to help fix it. Back in the day, we had our leaders were built of a different type mindset. They walked strong and tall, yes. They swung a big stick, yes. But they were not bullies. They were respected. Okay, that's it.
No, you're totally right. I mean, this administration is running amok and it's unchecked for violence, where it really should have due diligence from Congress and it needs to have approval. It has been allowed to run amok from the ICE raids and immigration issues to the boats off of Cuba and Mexico being shot and just blown up without any oversight, without anyone approving anything, without anyone being part of that oversight. Then, of course, the invasion in Venezuela. And now Iran. And we have lost service members. It kind of reminds me of the bullshit from Benghazi, right? We go into countries because we think there's weapons of mass destruction, which there may be, there may not be. We don't know because there's no oversight. There's no one else, and there's no checks and balances, which our founding fathers were supposed, put in for us supposed to enforce. So there's no checks and balances on this administration or anyone who's able to say what the heck is going on. The media is just reporting whatever is being said. And so how are we being able to verify things? How are we supposed to understand what's really happening in the world? And in the meantime, our troops, our brothers, our fathers, our sisters, our wives, our children are serving the president's orders and being killed for it. Our troops are dying already. And it's a very dangerous place in the world to be at war right now. So, it is going to escalate because they don't want to give up their power. They want to kill all Americans. They will never surrender. And they have very powerful allies. It's a very dangerous time to be poking the bear, and the junkyard dog's going to get off the chain, and then what happens, right? I mean, it's a very dangerous time for us.
Russia has already started helping Iran, and I'm not surprised. Remember, Trump was in bed with Putin. We're not surprised that Russia is telling Iran our secret points.
Yeah, I mean,
So
well,
yeah,
espionage has been a thing for forever, since even before the Cold War, right? And now we have so much availability and technology. I mean, it's so far beyond the scope of my comprehension. I mean, I can barely like plug in the toaster, okay? But I'm sure there's a lot of things in the interwebs, and I'm concerned, but there's nothing I can do about that, right? We can only focus on what we can control, and only thing we can control is our actions, our attitude, and our activity, and that's it. So we can keep coming to this podcast every month and keep talking about things, observing and hoping some people listen, hoping things change, and discussing and fighting the good fight from the artist perspective. And the rest of it is up to those we elect. So go vote. All right, I'm going to share this clip. This is something that happened locally. Actually, two clips. I'm going to share both these clips. The first one is, they're all from YouTube. All the clips today are from YouTube. This first one is titled Bernalillo County Domestic Violence and Homicide. This is by KOAT 7. This is an ABC affiliate. It was posted 2 weeks ago. This is the story about the woman and her children who were shot by her partner or husband. I don't remember yet, but he is the father of the children. And so he shot them all. And the tragedy is his 4-year-old son was killed before people were able to find them. The 4-year-old died. The second one I'm going to show you is, again, same television station, KOAT 7. And the title is Charges Yet to be Filed After Gun Found at Mitchell Elementary. And that was from 1 day ago. That's the best I can find as far as like the most recent things. Those are two local news that I want to just bring to the podcast because it affects us here in New Mexico. And then we'll move to the representative and the senator who were shot, and the House representative was assassinated and killed. And we'll continue to talk about this political violence as we move forward. Let me share screen. And again, this is not meant to be necessarily one side or the other when you talk about political violence, because there's plenty of political violence to go around. So here we go. The Bernalillo County Domestic Violence and Homicide. Let me go ahead and press play when it loads. Here we go.
Fighting for their lives after a shooting in the East Mountains.
Deputies say it started as a domestic dispute. Corey Howard is live outside the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office.
Well, that's right, Doug and Shelley. One man is behind bars tonight and is facing multiple charges as a result of that shooting. And the Bernalillo County Sheriff, John Allen, says that it is one of the worst scenes he's ever had to investigate.
I would say this is probably the most difficult 911 call that I've ever heard in my career. It's pretty difficult to listen to and hear people suffering and people in the process of dying.
According to deputies, it started around 1 in the morning at the Leisure Mountain RV Park in Tejedas. Investigators say it all started as a domestic dispute between a husband and his wife and escalated from there.
Female caller reported that a male suspect was armed with a handgun. While deputies were en route to the location, dispatch received multiple updates while deputies were en route, indicating that shots had and were being fired.
The shooting claimed the life of a 4-year-old and injuring a 1-year-old and the woman.
The female and another child were transported to a local hospital, and they are currently being treated, and they are currently in critical condition.
Sheriff Allen said the woman worked for the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office. The DA's office released a statement. The Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office, with deep sadness, is trying to cope with the tragedy involving a member of our staff and her 2 children. This heartbreaking situation has profoundly affected our entire office.
Does the suspect have like any a history of like mental health or anything of that nature?
You know, we're looking into that. I do know that the suspect does have a military history.
Now, Sheriff Allen does say that Sanchez doesn't have a criminal history. However, tonight he's facing multiple charges, including intentional child abuse resulting in death. Reporting in Albuquerque, Corey Howard, KOAT, Action 7 News.
Investigators also said this is an ongoing investigation and Sanchez could face more charges in the near future.
Okay. So he's 41 years old, and he's being arraigned. He's in custody right now, being arraigned. So we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens here with the case. It is incredibly sad that this child lost his life, and that was here. So when we discuss the number one cause of death to children being gun violence, a lot of times we're not talking about how that gun violence is at the hands sometimes of the parents. And also people like to say things like, oh, he would never do that, right? The denial factor, that he would never do that. He's never been violent before. He's as a survivor of domestic violence, I will tell you that not all the time is what you see what's happening behind the scenes. And this woman worked for the DA's office. This is a huge deal, right? I mean, she worked for the district attorney, and the DA's office is going to take it and roll with it. I would hope that they would give every case the amount of attention they're giving this case when it comes to domestic violence. The next video I'm going to show you is for the child who brought the gun to school here in Albuquerque, and this is an elementary school. So here we go.
School in Albuquerque.
6 days later, there have been no charges filed against the gun's owner. John Rapolo was there live.
Yeah, we first told you about this story earlier this week. A 10-year-old bringing a loaded gun here to Mitchell Elementary behind me. Tonight, there are calls in this community to charge the gun owner. A 10-year-old boy, a fourth grader, brought a loaded gun to school in a backpack last Friday at Mitchell Elementary. The gun was later found hidden in the nurse's office. Now there were calls from the community to charge the gun's owner. This is just one of many comments on the KOAT Facebook page. Parents should be charged. Benny's Law, passed in 2023 in New Mexico, requires safe firearm storage to prevent child access to guns. It allows for charges to be filed against the gun owner if a child gets access to a gun and commits a crime. Joshua Kastenberg is a professor of law at UNM.
I think the law is important for reinforcing the idea that gun owners have special responsibilities to safeguard deadly weapons.
Respond out to the Washington Middle School. We have a young patient.
Benny's Law was enacted after the 2021 murder of Benny Hargrove, shot to death by a classmate at the Washington Middle School. The gun was owned by the shooter's father, but the father was never charged because there was no law. We reached out to APS police about the status of the investigation into the gun at Mitchell. This is John Rapolo from KOAT. They told us to reach out to APS. APS said in a statement, the Albuquerque Public Schools Police Department is handling it. It's my understanding that the investigation remains active. We also reached out to the district attorney's office about filing charges. All right, as of right now, APS isn't saying who owns the gun that 10-year-old brought to school. More at 6. We're live at Mitchell Elementary. John Rapolo, KOAT, Action 7 News.
26 states and the District of Columbia have enacted secure storage laws for firearms.
Okay, so, this is a super important piece because Benny's Law, this came after the first deadly middle school shooting when Benny Hargrove was killed on campus. And I remember that was right after COVID when everything went right back Kids went from distance learning to in person. And my daughter, my now 16-year-old, had just started middle school. She was in 6th grade, and I wrote the poem for Benny Hargrove. And so, it's a very personal piece for me, but I would hope for most New Mexicans, especially Burqueños here, that this is such a serious thing that a child was bringing a gun to an elementary school and there's no charges. It's yeah. Anyways, so I invite feedback from the team about any of this if you would like, and then we will go ahead and discuss the assassination and shooting of some of our political leaders.
Well, I will say this. The examples are too damn regular. And with technology doing what it's doing, with 3D printers being more and more available, it's only going to get worse unless we make this a priority, not just of law, but of civilized behavior. There should be sermons in churches and synagogues and mosques. There should be public service announcements. Your kid gets a 3D printer. Watch what the hell he's printing.
Mm-hmm.
Your kid has access to a 3D printer at school or his friends. What are you doing with these things? Because whether it be an origami folded gun or a 3D printed gun, beyond, I'll take a page from the old gun advocate saying, well, it's not the gun. No, the gun's part of it. The gun's a critical part of it. But it's important to know about the responsibilities we bear to the other human beings, and even I'll say the animals in our vicinity too. Thanks.
You're so right. And that just continues to ring true every single episode on this show. Would anyone else like to chime in on the domestic violence shooting or the child who brought the gun to school?
Yeah, I want to echo a lot of this, just to say that, like, how if an adult knows that they have a gun, and even a loaded gun, how they are not like being ultra protective, not just of their children, of course, but anyone who might access that sort of thing. Like, it should be under lock and key unless, like, you're out shooting deer. Like, it should be, you should know where it is at all times. Put a camera on it even. Like, I'm just so, I once dated a woman with 2 young children, and like I was helping her move, and I brought like my moving tape rollers, and they're rollers from moving tape, and I was terrified that one of the kids would get it and like cut themselves on the thing or something. And so I was like, my whole mind was consumed with, oh my gosh, I must protect the children from my roller of moving tape.
Yeah.
And so,
well,
like,
you're right.
and we're talking about loaded guns. Like, how an adult is not like ultra crazy obsessed with keeping their child safe from that. It boggles my mind.
And we've one of the very first shows that we ever did on this podcast was responsible gun ownership. And it was discussing the ways you can protect yourself, the ways you can protect your children. And not just that, but when you send your child or you go to the home of someone else who does own a gun, if their weapons are not secured, is your child at risk? I think that we should make this,
absolutely.
If you're a parent, right, or a grandparent, you should, or a guardian of a child, and your child's going to go spend the night at someone's house or going to go to a birthday party at someone's house, we should begin making it normal to say, do you have any guns or firearms in the home? Are they secured? Do you know where they are? Will my child have access to them? How can you ensure my child's safety in your home? I used to train dogs professionally. And I used to do a lot of dog bite prevention for children. And the statistics when I was training dogs professionally were half of all children will be bit by a dog by the time they graduate high school. A lot of them are bit very traumatically with permanent physical deformations and, of course, trauma. And it was easier for parents to learn about dog bite prevention, to ask people, do you have dogs? Are they safe?
Right.
Are they put up when I come to your home? When I go to someone's home I've never been to, I say, do you have dogs? Are they put up? And so, we need to normalize things like, do you have any firearms in the home? Are they put up? Are they secured? Could my child have access to them? Does your child have access to them? Those are things that we should absolutely be making normal conversation. Because if you're asking a parent and they ridicule you, shame you, mansplain to you, or completely invalidate your question as a parent about their firearm, they are not responsible enough to take care of your child, in my opinion. They would not be responsible enough to take care of my child. I sure as shit am not going to let my child go over to their home if they cannot guarantee that their firearms are secured. We need to normalize these things when we go to people's homes, right? I went to a Super Bowl party this year to a brand new home, friend of mine. I trust them. Brand new, never been to their home though. And I asked them, do you have any dogs? Do you have any firearms? Right? These are the two things I always ask because it's important to know. And it's important to ask. And you should not feel ashamed. Hang on, Angie, I see your hand is up, which reminds me of the first day of school. For my daughter, she started 6th grade this year. The first day of school, right? They do this whole parent meeting for 6th grade families. And not a single parent in there asked about the code Alice or asked about the active shooter drills. Now, I have been volunteering for APS for 16 years, and I've been in the classrooms during the active shooter drills before COVID. And so I know what all it entails. I've written poems about it. And the studies show that the majority of parents have concerns or questions about the safety protocols in their child's school, but most of them don't ask. And it was interesting to me because the interim principal at the school at the time of the meeting didn't even bring it up. And so I asked her after the meeting, because I didn't want to put her on the spot. She was just an interim principal and she was kind of thrown into it. And I didn't feel like it was good to put her on the spot, but I knew other parents had the same questions. What are your plans for an active shooter? So these are things I think we need to normalize asking. I would love to have the parents at Mitchell Elementary School come on the podcast and discuss how they felt when they found out an elementary child brought a loaded gun to their classroom. What was the teacher? The teacher. And I understand people, they can't talk about things. They don't want to talk about things. It's very political. There's a lot of blowback when you start, blowing the whistles and stuff. But even in a sense of anonymity, being able to speak to this in the context of anonymity would be insightful. Angie, your hand is up.
Okay. I was raised in Birmingham, Alabama. You can't get any more southern than that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a distinct difference in how kids are raised in the South and kids are raised in the North. I'm in Nashville, and that's still considered the North because it's like a whole nother world. Growing up, you did not go to anybody's house if your parents, okay, you pretty much ran them through a check. If they did not know your parents, you didn't go. My house, you didn't spend the night over anybody's house, and nobody spent the night at yours. And I mean, that may seem harsh, but it worked. If we're invited to a birthday party, my mama, she checked you out so thorough. I mean, I'm surprised people didn't just not let us come to their house because she checked them out so thorough. She had to know everything about you. And that in turn rubbed off on me, and it rubbed off on my kids. So if you don't change the way you parent, it's still you still all the laws are not going to fix it if you don't change your parenting style. I told you, my mama was in child private eye. There ain't nothing come through that house that she didn't know about. I'm sure she searched my daddy at some point in time. But and if you don't, parents now go, I don't want to invade their privacy. They should have had my mama because she didn't care nothing about privacy. I don't even think she knew what that word was. So we have to be vigilant, or if we don't protect our children, nobody else is. If we don't sit down and tell kids, when you see somebody with a gun, if you have a friend that comes out with a gun, you do two things: run and tell. If we don't train them at home, because they're obviously not doing it in school, we're lost. It's up to the parents, not to an extent. It's up to us to protect our child versus waiting on the law or waiting on someone else. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, I mean, I hope my daughter's pretty pissed at me that I have lots of rules and regulations. Um, but I hope one day she realizes that they were acts of love and protection. And I'm glad that you see the perspective now. And going to what I saw a lot in the classrooms with children versus what I saw with parents. The teachers, man, they need to be awarded the medals of freedom right there, because they can only do so much. There's only so much administrators and teachers and mentors and coaches can do for children. It has to come from the home. It has to come from the parents. It starts at the top. It starts at the top in a household. It starts at the top in your community leadership, in your city municipal leadership, in your state government, and it starts at the top from the president of the United States, from the White House. It's a trickle down effect, right? How can we expect change when there is nothing to demonstrate peace? And so with that, I'll lead into the we're circling back as we wrap up today. The political violence has been nonstop. There's a lot of things we could discuss on this show for specific individual people, but one of the most outrageous ones is Minnesota Representative Melissa Hortman was killed in a targeted attack, and also Senator John Hoffman was shot. We've talked a little bit about the Mangione shooting. I'm not going to sensationalize that. I don't agree with his choices. He murdered in cold blood, that man. Even though the undercurrent of it was injustice of the healthcare system, I get it. But you cannot go around shooting and killing people because you disagree with them, shooting and killing people because you felt like you were wronged somehow in this life. The world owes you. Well, the world freaking owes everyone. Karma. My dad said this thing when I was a child. He would say, God had two choices when the world was made: make it fair or make it round. And so, Americans, get off your high horse. Please shed some of that privilege. Understand the world doesn't owe you crap. And you don't have the right to take a human life from someone else unless you are protecting your own or those of your family. And so, you don't get to just walk up to someone's home and shoot them dead, or ambush them from behind like a coward and shoot them in the head because you disagree with policy, right? I mean, we would all like some country to come and displace our current leader, probably. But I would not say that would be right or justified. I think the process is the elections, it's voting, it's the system that we have in place. We have to get out and change what's happening here. We don't change it by force. We don't change it by killing more people. We don't change it by shedding more blood. We change it through diplomacy. We change it through protest. We change that through podcasts, by doing our art, And we're going to continue to do that because we live in a country that allows us to do that. So let's be a little grateful for that. This clip is on YouTube. It's from 9 News, which is an NBC affiliate. This is from 8 months ago. And it says, it just says 2 state lawmakers, Senator John Hoffman and Representative Melissa Hortman, and their spouses were shot in targeted attacks at their homes. And I'm going to go ahead and share screen, and we will do that. Like I said, we will always cite where we find sources. And at the end of the podcast today, I will give you a list of those sources that we've historically used on the show. And once we're done, once we've shown this, we'll come back and talk about the assassination of Representative Hortman and political violence, and we'll wrap up today. Here we go.
Makers. Right now, we're getting an update from the Attorney General, Governor Tim Walz, and police. Let's listen in.
Wells, the mayor of Brooklyn Park. We're here today because an unspeakable tragedy has unfolded in Minnesota. My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa and her husband Mark, were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Our state lost a great leader, and I lost a dearest of friends. Speaker Hortman was someone who served the people of Minnesota with grace, compassion, humor, and a sense of service. She was a formidable public servant, a fixture and a giant in Minnesota. She woke up every day determined to make this state a better place. She is irreplaceable, and we've been missed by so many. Minnesota's thoughts and prayers are with her family, her loved ones, her children, and her parents. My prayers also go out to State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette, who were each shot multiple times. The Hoffmans are out of surgery at this time and receiving care, and we are cautiously optimistic they will survive this assassination attempt. This was an act of targeted political violence. Peaceful discourse is the foundation of our democracy. We don't settle our differences with violence or at gunpoint. In the state of Minnesota, and as recently as last week, in the most closely divided state legislature in the country, we sat down, we worked things out, we debated, we shook hands and compromised, and we served the state of Minnesota together. We proved that it's possible, even in these politically charged times, to find compromise and adhere to the principles of democracy and civil discourse. We must all, Minnesota and across the country, stand against all forms of political violence. At this precipice moment we're on, this tragic act here in Minnesota should serve as a reminder to all of us. The democracy and the debates in the halls of Congress, in state houses, in school boards, is a way to settle our differences peacefully and move society to a better place. We're collaborating with all local, state, and federal agencies on a full investigation. We're committed to keeping Minnesotans informed as the situation continues. I assure you that those responsible for this will be held accountable, and each and every one of us are committed to making sure that a tragedy like this never repeats itself in Minnesota or across this country. I'd now like to turn it over to my public safety team to fill you in on the specifics of this ongoing investigation.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you, everyone, for being here today. My name is Drew Evans, and I'm the superintendent at the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. I want to start by just expressing our deepest sympathies to the communities, the family, the friends, and everybody that cared about the individuals that were gunned down today. When we have individuals like this in our political leadership, they're not only political leaders, but they're members of the community, well-known members of the community, that the tragedy in a situation like this is not only for them, their friends and families, but us collectively, the communities they represent, us as a state of Minnesota as a whole. About 2 a.m. this morning, there was an original call in the city of Champlin where there was an individual that had shot Senator Hoffman and his wife. Police responded to that location. They were dealing with that and working through that process overnight. And then later on, at approximately 3:35, that another call came in when it was officers proactively checking because they knew of the incident that occurred, and they were going to check on Speaker Hortman at that time, at which time Brooklyn Park police officers encountered the individual who immediately fired at them, and they exchanged gunfire, and then the individual was able to escape during that exchange of gunfire. At the residence in Champlin, there was life-saving measures that were provided there. Both individuals were transported, as was previously noted, and they both received surgeries for their injuries at the hospital, and their conditions are at this time, both those individuals, Senator Hoffman and his wife, are both alive at this time, but they suffered gunshot wounds and are obviously in a difficult situation, but we're cautiously optimistic that they will continue to improve. At this time, it is a very active scene still, as you've seen. The Brooklyn Park Police Department, along with other.
So, of course, we just heard from Democratic Governor Tim Walz before he took the stand. He called Democratic House Representative Melissa Hortman irreplaceable and explained just how deeply she'll be missed. He also said Democratic State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were shot multiple times and had surgery. Governor Tim Walz is cautiously optimistic that they will survive. Of course, we will continue to follow this all throughout the day.
Okay. You know, it's so indicative to me of our deepest condolences, right? It's at this point, we should just have canned statements that go out, right? And it reminds me, the logo, one of the logo designs I did for t-shirts says thoughts and prayers, but it has a line through it. And it says policy and change. And it has a bullet hole in the middle. So thoughts and prayers, which is X'd out, and says policy and change. So, you know, you can get t-shirts on the website. You can buy the book, help support what we're doing. But it makes me think. I think we'll add a topic to the podcast called Deep Condolences, Deep Pockets. I think that is a great topic, right? We always come up with topics on the show based off of the material that we're going over. So,
I have a suggestion.
Yeah. Yes.
Let me make a quick suggestion. I recall when it was finally officially recognized that smoking was a bad idea, that we got the cigarette companies to put ads together saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't be smoking. You know, let's stop doctor ads of doctors smoking. And maybe we could do the same thing with gun manufacturers. Have gun manufacturers.
Right, we talked about this. The tobacco lobby was very strong, especially in the 30s, 40s, 50s. Right, the tobacco lobby was this massive. But
they handed out cigarettes to soldiers.
I mean, well, look, now they moved to vaping, which is it's just as bad, right? I mean, the things you put in your body, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, the tobacco lobby was so massive, but the Attorney General of the United States forced a law to have the warnings put on all tobacco products, right? Because it not only do we definitively know it causes heart disease, lung cancer, mouth cancer, esophageal cancers, hypertension, early death, all kinds of cancer, it kill you, right? People will just die, right? But it's because not just the tobacco, because of all the other crap that's inside cigarettes. So the campaigns, but I see so many people still smoking, and the tobacco lobby has pivoted to vaping. There's laws now that have gone into place for what types of flavors and how you advertise to young people for vaping. Anyways, my point is people still freaking smoke. People still smoke with their kids in the car. I see it all the time. People still smoke in their home with people in their house. Secondhand smoke, we know, is just as deadly as lighting up on your own. So, but we got the government to write a law to force the tobacco companies to slap a warning label on them, but people still smoke. How come the number one cause of death for children and young people in the United States is not being recognized? I can't say it's not being recognized because the Attorney General for Barack Obama recognized the importance of gun violence for young people. There was absolutely, you had before the CDC was taken over by crazy lunatics, the CDC recognized gun violence as a vital role in the mortality rate of children. Okay, we know these things. Same with measles. Same with things that you need to be vaccinated for. Anyways, that's a different podcast. Why are we not able to slap warning labels? Why are we not allowed? I mean, we need not leave it up to the states. We need a federal mandate for the sale and regulation and storage of guns and weapons. And how come you can own a gun but not have to renew it? You need to renew your driver's license. You need to get your car inspected every other year. You know, you have to carry insurance for your vehicle. But you can buy a gun, not a beer, when you're 18. There is no regulation, no oversight, no nothing for the deadly weapon in which you now are in possession of. And that's only if you legitimately, legally purchase the weapon. We know you can 3D manufacture. You still need to have metal parts in a 3D printed weapon. We know that. But then there's, ghost guns. And then there's tampered with guns. And there's guns from who knows where. I mean, we're never going to get rid of the guns. So how do we regulate them? Well, we can start by stop producing them, stop selling them. Well, that's a start. Okay. But you're totally right. The government is not interested in taking on the gun lobby. And I think it was very interesting. This whole movement was spawned from the shooting in Uvalde, right? The shooting in Uvalde, Texas. When my daughter, who's 16 now, when she was 4, I think she was 4. Was she 4? She was very young. I mean, she might have been two or 3. Anyway, she was very young, and the Newtown shooting happened. And I put her in daycare for the first time when she was 2. And I remember when the Newtown shooting happened, I talked to the daycare about what their plans were. If there was, because nobody really had plans in place at that time. And then fast forward exactly 10 years and the Uvalde shooting happened. And so, we cannot keep burying children. The government needs to do something. Things need to happen. There needs to be an uprising. And although we're saying uprise in a peaceful way, vote, right? Use your art, use your voice, use your podcast, use technology. This is an uprising. How do we do that in a way where we stop burying our children? So yeah, Governor Tim Walz said peaceful discourse, and so I'm going to make that a topic as well. I've invited Governor Walz on the show, especially when he was running for office originally. So I continue to invite Governor Walz on the show. He said, we sit down, we debate, we work things out, we shake hands, we compromise, we stand against all forms of political violence. And man, his state, if you think that it's a coincidence that Minnesota's being hit like it is, it's not. It's not. I mean, we had shooting Uvalde. We recently, Austin, Texas. I don't see any gun changing. When the Uvalde shooting happened, the NRA had their annual circus, I think in Houston, like that following week. It didn't matter. So I'll open this up. What do you guys think? What are your last thoughts about the political violence? And I will share with you a photo from a burial site in Iran from the most recent killings there. Anyone want to chime in on the shootings in Minnesota?
Well, I'll say this. We've seen the radical right, who is somehow invisible to our justice system right now, attack the Michigan governor, these people here, and we see the absolute lawlessness in Minnesota of ICE. And
well, they're
you
out
know,
now, thank God, but not before
well,
two Americans lost their lives.
that's the PR sign. From what I hear, it's still going on. It's just been declared over. And if you follow, say, Democracy Now! Or Tom Hartman, you'll hear stories about it's ongoing. It's really not stopped. But anyway, this lawlessness, which comes right from the top, is until we get rid of this current regime, I'm afraid it's going to get worse.
It's certainly not going to get better, right? It's certainly not going to get better. I mean, I think it's definitely going to get worse before it gets better. What are I don't know. I mean, are people dying less and less from lung cancer from smoking? Probably. I don't have the statistics on that. But probably, I mean, there's less and less people smoking, I would hope. So is that kind of a canary in the coal mine or a compass to tell us, like, if we can reform gun legislation and gun laws, can we begin to reverse the cycle, and how many generations will that take?
Good questions. Good questions all.
Okay, so I'm going to show the picture so everyone has this. This is an image I took. I flipped the picture. The picture. Let me see. There's the window. I took a picture of my television. I believe this was yesterday on NBC News Now on YouTube, which that's the only, I love that show. And so it came to light that the attacks on Iran from the United States were surgical and precision and intentional targets. They could say they were based on bad intel, whatever. I mean, I don't make those decisions, but one of the strikes was on a school, and it killed, I believe, over 150 children. So, I mean, people in America get upset when, a small handful of children die from a mass shooting, but how come more Americans are not upset? It's 150 children. It's an entire school. And this is an image of the burial site. In the aftermath, they were, pulling body parts of children out because the entire building collapsed. It collapsed. And so whether or not the initial strike killed them, the collapse of the building did. And it reminds me very much so of World War II images of the Nazis, except they're not all in piles, right? It's incredibly sad that we live in 2026 and women, the wails of these women, these mothers, are deeply disturbing. They may never leave me. The wailing I heard on the news from these women who lost their children. We're human beings at the end of the day, right? Not all of us are parents, not all of us are mothers, but we all have mothers. We all come from someone. We all have people we care about. And this should not be part of our humanity. This should not be part of our history. This should not be something that we are doing. This should not be tolerated. It is not acceptable. This isn't collateral damage in a war that's being fought by old white men for money. So I will open it up if anyone has anything that they would like to share as we close today, or any poems they would like to read.
The only thing I have to say is a lot of gun violence is not going to change or stop until we make an amendment to the Constitution. It's okay to bear arms, but if you misuse them, you go to jail. There has to be the Second Amendment is too broad. And I'm sure when they crafted it, they had no idea how they were responsible back then. They assumed everybody was going to always be responsible. Obviously, somewhere that got lost. So it needs to be reformed. We're reforming everything. Why can't we reform that? Until we fix that, the beginning of the gun violence or where the guns come from, until we fix that, we can kiss it off. Nothing's going to help.
And I think the main reason we cannot change the law right now is because of money. The lobbies are immaculately polished and funded, and people's ideations. Oh, we did not talk about the one thing. Okay, we should definitely discuss, because coming back to the political violence is a shooting in Austin real quick. Let me pull something up on that. Because that's actually what I intended to close out today's show with. It's the most recent mass shooting, again, in deep gun well, Austin is pretty liberal, okay, but the reason behind this mass shooting is believed to be politically motivated, and in response to the bombing, the war in Iran that the U.S. is perpetrating. So let me do this. This is the most recent one. It's Fox 4 Dallas Fort Worth. Police released body cam footage, and it is in Austin. And I remember watching this body cam footage, and it's pretty intense. Like, if you've never been face to face with someone with a gun, it's incredibly intense. And so maybe, this can shake loose some stuff in Texas. I know Austin does have a lot of liberal arts areas. So let's watch this real quick, and then we'll just kind of piecemeal everything together and discuss in closing. Here we go.
Video and frantic 911. 3 people died in the attack, and more than a dozen people were wounded before police shot and killed the suspect. Fox 4's Amelia Jones has more details. She spent days in Austin, back home in North Texas, but she's got the latest. Amelia.
Yeah, Steve, Austin police typically release body camera footage and 911 calls for all officer-involved shooting investigations. However, the police chief shared it took time to comb through appropriate videos to release, as some of it was just too graphic. Even in the videos they did release, we do have to warn you, it is intense and might be difficult to watch.
Where is it? Who shot?
This is one of 2 police body camera videos Austin police released today. They also released 911 calls after the gunman first shot at people from inside an SUV that the crowd was gathered outside Buford's bar on West 6th Street. Police said that video was too graphic to release to the public. Austin police shared a total of 19 people were shot. 3 people were killed. The gunman also died after he was shot by police. 2 people remain in the hospital. 1 is still in critical condition.
I want to again recognize the bravery of our officers. You saw that firsthand as they ran into danger to stop this. It is quite clear that they saved multiple lives. And also to the people, the brave people that were around, giving direction on where this guy was. It was everybody was looking to identify him and to stop this threat.
Police shared a little bit more about the gunman, 53-year-old Niaga Jean. Austin police had no contact with him prior to this weekend shooting. The only previous law enforcement contact happened out of the state in 2022. Police say it was a welfare check for his mental health. According to court documents, Jones' ex-wife accused him of cruel treatment in a 2022 divorce filing. The court gave his wife sole custody of their children after he failed to appear for a scheduled hearing. Austin police did not give an update on the investigation into the suspect's ties to potential terrorism. They just shared that multiple search warrants were executed and the FBI is still investigating.
Okay. You know, you cannot just slap a mental health thing on every mass shooter. I'm going to just put that out there. They did not mention in this one that it had been mentioned that this was an act of retaliation for the war in Iran. His clothing and things had mentions to Allah and other things. So he clearly had some sort of political religious affiliations to Iran and had ideology around that as well. So it's being treated as an act of terrorism, or is being considered as an act of terrorism as well. So 19 shot, 3 killed, gunmen killed by police. I always challenge law enforcement to come up in here and explain why there is not more of an uprising from law enforcement to control guns. Why are these AR? I mean, this guy is walking around with this assault rifle in the middle of this apartment complex. I mean, holy crap, is that not terrifying? And law enforcement has to be scared when they roll up into an active shooter situation where someone has an assault style rifle and or bump stocks. And how is law enforcement not more upset or more trying to control guns? Like, I don't get it. And their families, right? So I open this up. If anyone has anything that they would like to chit chat about as we wind down the show today.
No, I think that we've covered this area very well. We've talked about the impact of this in the religious communities, the stimulus that religion has played a part in this, and we've also talked again about schools, which is so sadly an arena that should never see guns. Well,
The takeaway is that dad is going to serve life in prison, right? I mean, over 100 years that dad is getting.
Well, hopefully it'll be talked about, but I'm afraid that Fox News and OAN and all those sources of misinformation it'll never see air.
Yeah. Well, but that's why, again, let's do podcasts. Let's talk about the things that are not being talked about everywhere, right? And if you're wondering what you can do your art. Yes.
Let me tell you one little small funny story. Maybe to lighten the mood up at the end. I have some neighbors. They're lovely people in general. They're very nice people, very caring people, care about their communities. They were both educators, went overseas to help people overseas. Good, caring people, but they are brainwashed. And when I would try to say things to them, they'd heard nothing of it. They one time supported. They said, "Oh, Rick, you should read J.D. Vance's book. It's so amazing." And I said, let me ask you a question about that. I don't know the book thoroughly, but I do know what this book is basically telling tales out of school, airing his family's dirty laundry about drug and addiction and all of the stresses of being ultra poor in Appalachia. I don't see how this is, a positive story here. Yes, he achieved and got out, sold his soul, but I said, I would urge you one thing. I said, if there was one piece of advice I would give you, I would say, look beyond Fox News for your information. Please do yourselves a favor. Look at some of the many sources of information that can really give you a different perspective. You're intelligent people, you're caring people. Mm-hmm. You know how important it is to be informed. Well, I let that sage advice sit for a couple weeks before I asked them about it. And they said, "Oh, Rick, You know, you were so right. We really should look at other information. So now we watch Newsmax and OAN instead
Oh
of
my
Fox
God.
because Fox is
Oh.
too liberal.
Oh, that's
So that
hilarious.
one went awry.
Little backfire there. But yes, that's why we cite all of our resources at the end of every show. And then there's multiple sources, right? We're not just delivering you one thing from one place. We're delivering all kinds of reputable sources, including universities and medical institutions. We're not just talking about whatever you think the crazy left is doing, because we're about comprehensive information and comprehensive issues that affect everyone if you're a human being. Angie, is there anything you want to add as we close today? I know Angie's battling a lot of sinus stuff, and so I'm not sure, how much she's going to be able to continue to add. And also, I want to thank Matthew for coming through the show today. All
Here I
right.
am.
Oh, good. Hi. Is there anything that you want
Once
to add
again, my computer hated me. I want to agree with Rick about the sources. And the one source that a lot of people read is Facebook. That's the worst place you could ever look, is Facebook. Not only that, but you have to pay attention to your news too, because news is not about telling you facts. It's about ratings. If the ratings aren't high, and if you ever notice, the only thing that they're really going to tell you about is the violence, the killing, because crime sells, which is sad. And until we can get the news media to understand that crime should not sell, we're kind of in trouble. That's all I had.
It's so true. No, you're totally right. I mean, there's no shortage of information for us to talk about on the show every 30 days. Right? We are never at a loss every month on what to talk about or the goings on in the world. I would love for us to come to this show and not have a single thing to talk about, because there hasn't been a single episode of gun violence. Wouldn't that be like the dream? Kumbaya, and let's all hold hands and let's go. That would be the dream. All right, so until we get there, we're going to keep going on this podcast. Next month is the atomic weight of trauma. We're going to be discussing the effects of gun violence on children as they become adults, on adults and as adults as parents with children, the effects of gun violence traumatically for the workplace, as well as for the school, as well as for, of course, continual policy and change, and that type of thing. As our political leaders become victims and survivors of gun violence, perhaps their trauma can help us navigate through change. Yeah, there's a whole lot of things that are spawning out of gun violence. Of course, the Sandy Hook Promise being one of them. And I invite anyone who is part of gun violence advocacy to please come join us, join the crusade, partner with us. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow everywhere you find Red or Green Books. Red, READ, redorgreenbooks.com. You can grab a copy of the first volume as well as the art book online. You can do sponsor a senator for only $15. We will send a U.S. state senator of your choice anonymously a copy of American Graveyard. Volume 2 will be out this year, so you can pre-order it already on the website. You can pre-order Volume 2. It's amazing. I also do have confirmation that we will be getting it nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for Literature. So I'm very, very excited to be moving forward with that project. So you can grab your copy of the book on our website. So some resources and citations today: gunviolencearchive.org, pewresearch.com, brady.united.org, usafacts.org, publichealth.jhu.edu, bbc.com, statista.com, sandyhookpromise.org, healthdata.org, wikipedia.org, npr.org, finelaw.com, wfaa.com, cornell.edu, youtube.com, preventfirearmsuicide.com, Quora.com, cdc.gov, jasonfoundation.com, medschool.duke.com, afsp.org, paho.org, ammo.com, colorado.edu, muse.uga.edu, tedmed.com, publichealth.jhu.edu, and fau.edu. We're going, continuing to pile the list. Please go and check out the sources, the places where we have found our information. Like, share, subscribe, follow everywhere. This podcast is available on our Facebook page. You do not need to have a Facebook account to access the Facebook video. You can download it for yourself, listen to it anytime. It will be uploaded to our YouTube channel and Spotify. So please follow the pages, subscribe to the channels, and share. If you would like to be part of this podcast, please reach out to us, americangraveyardpurpose@gmail.com. I believe that is our email. If not, you can reach out to us at Red or Green Books on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. Peace and blessings. Thank you again. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Blitz, for coming through the show today. We'll see you next month.
And thank you, Angie.
Yes, Angie. Thank you so much. I believe next month is Saturday, April 4th is the Atomic Weight of Trauma. And then in May is Reporting the Truth. June is Stand Your Above Ground. July is America the Beautiful. Violence Starts at the Top. And August is All Roads Lead to Rage. And so that'll get us through the next couple months. That'll move us through the summer. Lots and lots of things to talk about. I believe our topics go through May 2027. So we are all...
Thanks, Marissa.
I appreciate you, Rick. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you back in April. Be safe. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here.
See you guys.